Hi everybody, my name is Michael and I'm making a video today on moving out of your house and starting your own life, living on your own as an adult. So I have a list of things that I kind of want to touch base on and just kind of like talk about things that I know that I'm preparing for to move out of my house within the next 2 weeks. Um, it's going to be kind of like a different thing. I'm going to be talking about, like moving out of your house if you're just moving like across town or a couple blocks away, out of your parents' house, or if you're doing something like me and I'm moving out of my parents' house, but I'm also moving state. So like I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm moving to Portland, Oregon. It's a really long stretch. It's a couple hundred miles, but it's going to be really fun, really awesome. And I'm also going to be documenting my travels there and a lot of what I'm going to be doing there because I'm moving there blind. I have no idea what Portland is about. I have no idea what Oregon looks like, what it feels like. I've never been there before, so it's going to be a really good experience, and I want you guys to tag along. Kind of come with me and look at my cornucopia of experiences that I'm going to be doing, along with like having to taste new foods, new culture, meeting my best friends' friends, because I'm going to be moving there with no one that I know, except a couple of people that I'm moving in with. And I'll introduce you to those guys when the time comes. So, I have like a very not long, I have a list of things here in my little notebook. Just talking about, how to prepare yourself and how to prepare things, for moving out of your parents' house and starting a new life as an adult on your own. So I'm going to set those right there. Alright, so the first things first is you have to plan out what you're going to do. So let's go for an example. We're going to go like talking about, let's see if you're just kind of staying in the same state, but you're just moving out kind of a couple blocks away, or you're moving across town, or maybe to a different town or a different city within your state. It still kind of applies to that. And then I'll be talking about like my experiences moving cross state, cross country. So first things first is you have to plan it out. You really need to be able to plan if you're going to move into an apartment by yourself, or if you're going to be moving into, an apartment with friends, just kind of things like that. So you need to plan out where you're going to be going, what your apartment or house is going to have, if you're going to lease a house, if you're going to rent a house or buy a home, kind of those factors. You need to plan out where you're going to be, or if you're going to college, because I know a lot of college kids are moving out and are going to be trying to stay on their own, and that is an amazing thing to start off with. So if you're going to be moving out and you're still going to be going to school, are you going to be finding an apartment or a home close to college? And you need to know the expenses of that, because a lot of times moving into an apartment that is kind of close to a college or close to a university can actually be very, very expensive if you don't have a roommate. And there's a lot of questions that can go into that, making your move very overwhelming, and it really doesn't have to be at all. Though moving out can seem very stressful, if you have everything set in place and all of your ducks are in a row, and you know where you're going, and you have your money set aside, and you know that you're going to be able to do it, it makes everything so much more less stressful for you. So that's planning it out. You just kind of need to know where you're going, what amenities you're looking for when going into an apartment or a home. You need to really research leasing a house, buying a house, and renting a house. And if you're going to be renting a house by yourself, do you really need a big house that's going to be a lot of space and a lot of cleaning? Or do you just need something small to start off with? Starting in a small home, like a studio apartment, can be a great thing if you're going in by yourself or you're going in with at least 2 people, because even though a studio apartment is basically one giant room, you can become so creative with it and make it into a 2-bedroom and you don't even realize it. So if you're going into a house, there's so many square feet kinds of houses that you can go into, but you really just kind of need to look in your area about where apartments are, houses are, and there are some great websites for that, where you can contact apartment houses, or you can contact apartment complexes. You can even contact landlords, and sometimes you can even negotiate your pay or negotiate things with those people depending on what you get. You just kind of need to think outside of the box. So the second part that I have is having a place to stay, and that's for more of the people that are moving out of state to maybe go to a university that they really want and it's not in their hometown, or going to a university that is within the same state but is really far away from home, or like me, you're moving states. I think I already said that. I probably did. So having a place to stay if you're going to university and you are going to be in an unfamiliar environment, make sure that you have a place to stay, whether that's in a dorm at the university or you're staying with a couple of friends until you have the money set up to go and get a nice apartment while you are, waiting for that to come about. So whether that is like a small apartment and you're going to be, you're going to be waiting to be able to get your own apartment and you're staying with people, or you're going to be in a dorm with a roommate and you don't have to pay rent. I don't know, do you pay rent in there? I didn't go to college. So you have that option. There are loads and loads of things that you can do while waiting to get into an apartment. You don't have to live in an apartment as soon as you move out. That is not needed. If you're able just to stay with a couple of friends until you can get that last little bit of money that you've been saving up to get into an apartment, that's great. So the next part that I have is talking about flight or transportation. That's more for people who are moving out of state. So how I did my flight and everything, I paid under $200 for a one-way ticket flying with a trusted and a little bit more expensive airline. So I'm flying with Delta, and Delta is some people call it a luxury airline. It's a very nice airline to fly with. They're very reliable. They haven't been in any crashes, which is great. None of their planes have gone missing. So that's good. Originally, when I started looking for airline tickets, they were $139, which I was amazed by. I was actually looking to spend like $200 on an airline ticket or more. Once I saw that they were $139, I was very, very relieved. They went back up for a couple of minutes. And when I say minutes, I mean minutes. They went from $139 to $141. Even though that's like a couple of dollars more, they went up for a couple of minutes. But I wanted to fly a airline that I knew was going to be trustable, that I knew that would accommodate me for my mental health issues, such as anxiety and panic attacks. And I knew that Delta was a very good airline to fly with because my mom had gone with them before, and she had an amazing experience every single time. So that ticket was $161 by itself if I didn't add on my flight extras. My flight extras cost me $30, so in total I paid $191. My flight extras were just $15 more per flight, so that I knew that I could be one of the first people to board the plane. And that was just more to keep me and my sanity at bay, because I don't like being on a crowded line going into the airplane, and I like to make sure that my things are going to fit in the overhead compartment. And if you're not one of those people that's at the front of the line when you start boarding, people can crowd the overhead cabin, and it can be so hard to get your things in, and then you just hold up the whole flight, and I don't want that to happen. My anxiety would go through the roof. So I try to keep that at bay with, you know, going into the first. And for $30 extra for 2 flights that I'm going to be on for over 2 hours, it was definitely worth it just to keep my sanity. So tweaks to flights, again, this is more for the people that are going out of state. You always are going to have options to put tweaks to your flight. A lot of flights now offer Wi-Fi. I don't know if you have to buy like a pass to the Wi-Fi, or not. I know with Delta, I can just stream my device to whatever their Wi-Fi is on the airplane. Some of them have live TV that you can do. Some of them have comfort seats. So basically, it's just like if you're going to be on that flight for a long time and you want to sleep, if you're taking a really early airline flight like I am, you can sleep on the plane, and they have certain seats for that. That's costing more. I don't know what other airlines have. I haven't looked at other airlines. I just knew that I wanted to fly Delta. So those are going to cost extra, but make sure that you have the money for it. Some of them aren't much more money, but it's good to know that you have that money to place your flight extras. So the next part I want to talk about is a side fund, and this is covering for both people who are just moving within state and then people who are moving with, out of state. Side funds are a very good thing just to have in case you're not loving the situation that you put yourself in when moving. My mom, you know, she's not happy about losing her daughter to going into another state and moving on her own, but she does support it, and she wanted me to be safe in the fact that I could have a side fund if I hated Portland and I wanted to come back home. It's going to be a lot harder to come back home if that ever did happen, but she felt safer if she knew I had a side fund coming along. So anyways, so side funds. Okay, so what you want, okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is side funds. Side funds are a great thing to have in the aspect of it's a side fund to save your butt if you don't like the position that you're in. So even though my mom is supporting me 100% in moving out of state at a very young age to go live in a different state to start a new life, she wanted to make sure that I had a side fund in case I wanted to come back home. Now that side fund, to me, I'm like, I'm going to Portland, I'm not turning back, but I know that I want to use that side fund to come back for when my mom is ready to deliver. My mom is 11 weeks pregnant. She's going to be delivering in May, and I know that at least that side fund may not be coming back home forever, but I'm going to be coming back home at least to see my baby brother be born. So that's a really great thing to have if you want to go and see your family for Thanksgiving or, you know, a national holiday and you want to go and spend it with them. It's a great thing to have to at least save your butt. Just do it for a couple of weeks while you're in that new environment to at least know that you have something, a plan B to sit back on. So the next thing I want to talk about is packing. So I'm talking about like packing for the entire flight, and I have my packing thing here, right here. It looks like a really long list. It's really not. It's just a lot of things are piled down into one. I have the essentials of everything that are going to be on this, that I'm going to need for this plane, right? I'll talk about, it's not a lot. I'll go through everything, just so that you can kind of get a gist of it. I looked at a lot of packing, or airline packing, photos on Google to kind of get a gist of things that I need. I'm a very minimalist person, so that's why a lot of things that were on that list that I saw in the photo are not on here because I didn't need them. So the essentials. These are the things that you have to need. These are must-haves that you're going to need for your flight. Your identification, such as a driver's license, an identification card if you don't have a driver's license, or a social security card, birth certificate, something like that, something that you can identify yourself with. Your boarding pass or tickets, or my boarding pass or tickets, the itinerary, which is like where I'm going to be going at what times for my flight, my wallet, cash, credit cards, a medical card if you have it, emergency number. This number can either be the person that you're going to live with, your parents' numbers, or an emergency contact that you usually use. My cell phone, I'm going to a concert, so I'm getting my tickets. A charger for your cell phone. Toiletries. So this is such as toothbrush, deodorant, contact solution. I'm bringing along my makeup and my makeup brushes. My clothes, underwear, tank tops, bras, t-shirts, pants, jackets, pullovers, shoes, flip-flops because I'm from down south, and accessories. So this is just the miscellaneous tag, which is the last part. Gum for my flight, books that I'm going to bring along, earplugs. I think Delta is going to supply me with earplugs, but I'll bring some along anyway. I wanted to bring along emergency, which is that tablet that you take. That I take it before every single time I go flying. My EpiPens, because I need epinephrine sometimes when I get stung by bees. And my service escort. And that's another part that I wanted to talk about when, if you're going to fly, and this is just flying anywhere, and if you're not even flying out of state to move and you're flying anyway, this is a good thing to know if you didn't know it before. Service escorts are people that are with the airline that will sit with you through your entire stay in an airport. So I called Delta after I purchased my tickets and told them, hey, I know you usually do this for kids that are flying on their own to go see a family member or something, but I have anxiety disorder. Do you offer a service like that? Because I knew they did that for my mom when she was little. So what they did is that they can guarantee me someone from Delta, whether that be a service escort or a flight attendant, that will sit with me through the airport stays. So you know how like in movies they have people that sit there with like signs that say people's names? That's basically what's going to happen. They're just going to sit with me through my entire layovers or when I'm waiting for my next flight, just to ensure that while in an unstable environment like airports, I don't have any panic attacks or anxiety attacks, because I'm going to be flying on my own and I felt safer doing it, and I know that my mom feels a lot safer knowing that I'm going to have someone with me in an unknown environment, in a very chaotic environment. So the last part, but not least, is emotionally and physically preparing yourself to move out. Emotionally preparing yourself to move out can seem very stressful because you are going to be on your own, and you're going to be left with a lot of responsibilities that you didn't think that you had in the first place, and that's very overwhelming. Just know that there are going to be people that you're going to make into friends wherever you're going to be going, whether that be neighbors or friends from school, friends from work, whether that's family members that you're going to be moving close to. Understand that people are always going to be there for you, or someone is going to be there for you, whether that be a person in real life or a person that you have met over the internet on Tumblr, because I am moving in with someone I met on Tumblr. So just know that there is always going to be someone there. You are never going to be alone when moving. Just understand that your parents did this, your grandparents did this, your great-grandparents did this. Your children are going to be feeling the same thing that you are feeling right now when moving out on your own. And that is a scary thought at first, but when you understand that there's going to be someone no matter what, you can always ring up your grandparents or your parents or a friend or siblings and talk to them. It's not that bad when moving out. So just understand that you're not alone. I'm going to say that all the time. Just, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. People have done this since the beginning of time. Physically preparing yourself to move out, it doesn't sound like you have to physically prepare yourself, but you're going to be moving a lot of boxes. You're going to be moving a lot of things around. You're going to be trying to figure out where you're going to be going during the day, and it's just, you're going to be physically exhausted the first couple of, days to a couple of weeks when starting out your move. Just be sure that now that you're on your own and you get to do all your shopping by yourself, don't go crazy on junk food. A whole lot of people be like, I'm on my own now, I get to eat a whole lot of junk food. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just because you're on your own now doesn't mean that you have the responsibility to eat junk food 24/7. Buy fruits, buy vegetables, buy locally grown fruit and vegetables, plant your own. Do it. I've seen a garden grow like wildflowers, and my friends are living off of it now. It's very easy to let yourself go, thinking that you're on your own now so you can do whatever you want. It's not like that. So just think logically, think like an adult, like a responsible adult. Let me insert that there, a responsible adult, and you should be good, okay? So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I have a lot to edit out of this video. Hopefully it'll be up by the end of the week. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, I'm going to be leaving a multitude of links that you can contact me at, whether that be Tumblr. I have my Ask open. I have my submission open at all times. I have Anonymous on too, if you don't want to be named or seen. I have an email specifically for this YouTube channel that you can email me at, and I promise you, I check that email like hourly, so I will respond. Myself will respond. Yeah. So that's what I have to say right now, guys. I hope this really helped you out in trying to move out of your house, whether you are 18, 19, 20, and you're just trying to start a new life, or you're having a hard time feeling like you can go out by yourself. It's not that bad. You just have to get creative with it. Okay? So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you soon. Okay, guys? Bye. Godspeed.